Hello everybody, I am your host Too Elusive and welcome back to another episode of Gunvolt. This time around we are going to be taking on the Strata Combs, but there are a few things that I want to do before we even touch that level. So one thing that I have not quite shown off yet is the crafting mechanic, if I can figure out where the heck the crafting mechanic is. I'm pretty sure it's right here, the briefcase. So synthesis, crafting, it's pretty much the same thing. Basically, when you complete any of these stages or do some of the missions, you're able to unlock certain, equipment that you're able to craft. What you're going to want to do here is you want to periodically stop by to see what kind of crafting you can make, because all in all, what they're going to allow you to be able to do is create gear that will enhance Gunvolt's capabilities. So for example, I can now create the boost band, which allows me to perform an additional jump. There's also the traction band, which allows me to perform an air dash. Now granted, you can get through the entire game without any of these abilities. You don't really need to make them, but they are relatively nice to have. I mean, an additional jump and an air dash is always nice to have. This one also allows you to reduce the damage that you're taking, but the trade-out is that you will no longer have the Prevasion ability. So that's just something you want to keep in mind. But anyway, let's go on ahead and create both the boost band and the other one as soon as I'm able to make it. Oh, actually, hang on. There's something I want to look up real quick. Allows the wearer to perform an air... Okay, Boost Band Plus. I wonder what Boost Band Plus does. Let me make that traction ring. There's a reason why you want to make both. Because me, personally, I don't really need to have, like, another additional jump to my Boost Band at all. What I really want is this one here. The Annulus. I believe that's how it's pronounced. Basically, it allows you to perform both the air jump and the air dash. So, unfortunately, we can't get that yet, but I would like to have both. In the meantime, now that I have my new gear synthesized, I'm going to go ahead and equip that. And the other reason why I want to equip this stuff is because I want to be able to also equip my brand new skill, which is a Lux Caliber. This bad boy is actually really awesome, and I love using this skill. Like, it's my absolute favorite skill in the entire game. This one basically allows you to heal your health, and that one allows you to accelerate your EP recovery. So basically, if you happen to go into that stasis where you run out of EP and you gotta take a moment to recover all that, that's basically what this little thing allows you to do. So it's a really neat skill to have. And I'm just going to go to my gear real quick. I don't really have any eye equipment yet. However, I do have these to put on. This pretty much allows you to accelerate the EP recovery when you overheat. But I'm not really going to need that right now. What I really need is my air dash one. I prefer the air dash over the additional jump because, like I said, you honestly don't really need the additional jump in this game, to be perfectly honest. But that air dash, definitely optimal. Only because there are moments where you're going to want to have the ability to dodge in the air. So, like, it's like really useful when you want to suddenly change your momentum. Like, that's the whole point I'm trying to make here. But anyway, let's go on ahead and take on the Stratacombs level. Now, the Stratacombs level doesn't necessarily start at the very beginning of the stage. You're going to start off at on the outdoors. And honestly, I'm going to turn off the dialogue. It's like, I showed off what it looks like when it's on, but personally, I prefer to play with it off. Oh, wait. I don't want to put that many meals on the guy. There we go. That should do it. I hope I get a double kill with that. Nope. It took too long. Anyway, the reason why I left it on in the first place is so you will be able to see what the dialogue is like in the game when you have it on. But like I said way earlier on in the beginning of this playthrough, that stuff is just a huge distraction, especially in this level, because guess what? It's your obligatory darkness level. So, and here, the main mechanic in this stage is you want to hit switches to be able to access certain areas. Oh, I could have gotten a triple here. Oh, did I still? Yo, I still got it. Nice, nice, nice. But yeah, basically you want, in this level, you want to tread lightly and be careful where you step. There are areas in the game where you're going to have to watch out for spikes and all that stuff. I mean, thankfully, Gunvolt doesn't die instantly when he touches spikes. But at the same time, it does a lot of damage to your EP. Oh yeah, that's right, I can air dash now. Well, I can't really air dash anymore because there's a wall in the way, that's why. See, I can't really show it off here. Oh no, I'm not at EP already. I can't really show it off here because of the way the stage structure is. And because there's a lot of obstacles in the way. Plus, again, this is your darkness level. Ah, jeez. I didn't want to get hit there. But the whole name of the game here is to just be careful and light the place up with your flash shield if you can. Also, pay close attention to that dead body you see on the floor there. That will become important later. Okay. I actually want that thing out of my way so I don't hit it while I'm jumping. Like, honestly, those little light thingies are more of a nuisance than a help. Because, again, I can just rely on my flash shield if I really want to see that badly, in all honesty. But you know what this mechanic also reminds me of? It reminds me of the Praying Mantis level in Mega Man X8, if any of you are familiar with that. Let's see here. Oh, also, I should point out, if you're going to go ahead and kill some of these dark enemies, if you happen to kill them as they're falling on the ground, like what you saw earlier there, they're going to splat the screen. The only time they're not going to splat the screen is if, God, what was it? It's if you actually shoot the wire or if you touch the wire whatsoever. And also, if you do hear barking in the background, I do apologize. That is actually my dog just making a fuss. Why he's making a fuss, I'm not entirely sure, but I will have to check it out in just a few minutes here after I clear this room. So I will be right back. I'm gonna go see what my little pupper wants, and we'll see what happens here. So be right back, guys. Alright, I do apologize for that. So yeah, my pupper was just being fussy. That's all it really was. So I just gave him the love and attention that he needed, and that was it. So it should be quiet from here on, but I can't make any promises with that. But anyway, back to this level here. Now, there is a gemstone that is hidden in this stage. And I will show off where that is as well. I know exactly where it is too. Like, I actually don't even need to be careful when going through the level. You know, minus the little pitfalls there that you just saw there. And also, if you can't really tell, the anime song for this stage started playing. So, I'm going to keep quiet for a little bit and let the song play so you guys can hear it. So yep, that's pretty much the entire song right there. And if I have to say anything about it, I do like the melody that it has. Like, this isn't my absolute favorite song, but it's a really good song in my opinion. Anyway, whenever you see these two color lights here, oh, I thought I had both of them lit. Anyway, you hit both of those to combine the colors, and that will open up the pathway. As you can see here! Ugh! Wow. I'm kind of salty that he got me like that. Anyway, from here on, it's kind of an easy trek, in all honesty. There really isn't much else to look out for, except for the pitfalls that you can see here. I have way too much Mega Man experience to fall for these dumb shenanigans, even though I got hit there, unfortunately. But let's see what this room contains. Oh, it's just a security room. Now, with that being said, there really isn't much else to say in this level other than just survive, make sure you don't get hit, and destroy everything you see. In fact, I'm just gonna speed it along through this boss room here. Oh, wait a minute. There we go. I was trying to make sure I didn't miss the skill button, because the way you activate skills in this game is sort of weird, if you can't already tell. In order to activate skills in this level, or I shouldn't say this level, but in this game period, and this is only applicable to the Switch version, what you're going to want to do is you want to use the right analog stick to select your skills, as you can see here in the corner. And then you have to press the R3 button, which is the right analog stick. You basically have to press that in to activate your skills. I personally don't like the way that's structured, because what can happen, and this is exactly why I put my Lux Caliber on like the down skill instead of any other, is because you can accidentally like move your analog stick as you're pressing the button in, and next thing you know, you're using a skill that you absolutely didn't want to use. Now, what I find really strange is that in the same game, remember the Switch version comes with both 1 and 2 in the same package. But what doesn't make any sense to me is that the second game has a better control scheme for your skills. So why didn't they do that for the first game? Like, why couldn't the first game also have the same control mechanic? That doesn't make any sense to me, in all honesty. And yes, I just grabbed the gem up there, in case you didn't see that, but yeah, it really doesn't make any sense. Like, why couldn't you make it the same for both? Why do they have to be, like, why does one have to be crappy and the other one has to be, I don't know, a lot better? I never really understood that. And you'll see that when I eventually get around to playing Gunvolt 2. When I'll touch Gunvolt 2, I'm not entirely 100% on that, but do know that it's definitely going to happen. And you will see gameplay for both Gunvolt and Copen. Anyway, we make it all the way to the end of the track here, and we'll run into this lady who, you know, look like she's seen better days, in all honesty. But then again, when you really consider where she's been the entire time and the fact that the lights have been off the whole time, like, you really start to feel sorry for her. And yeah, she was just taken right off the streets and placed here, and that was it. And there was a reason why she's left alone as well. So, you remember all of those dead bodies that we saw that suddenly came to life? That has to do with the fact that she has necromancy powers, but it's not her per se that has them, but rather it's her split personality, and you're about to get a look at that right now. Anyway, so that's basically her split personality coming to life there, and you're about to get a full look at that right now.
通信切るよ。
おい。
やっと出られたわ。ちょっとあんた何記憶なくしちゃってんのよ。
ああ、ごめんなさい。
その姿、スメラギの能力者か。
そう、私は、いえ、私は使えないその子に代わってあいつらの言いなりになるよう作られた別人格。
すみません。
ここにいた他の人間はどうしたんだ。
あら、途中で見なかったかしら。連中の慣れの果て、ゾンビ。
I like how when you listen to her dialogue, she literally pronounced them as zombies.
絶対の死すら覆すこの力。スメラギも欲しがるわけよね。だから叶えてあげたの、あいつらの願いを。ああいう形でね。さあ、坊やも一度殺して私のおもちゃにしてあげるわ。
Alright, so just from looking at her alone, you can tell that she basically has Medusa powers, but she also has the ability to revive. The key strategy here is to kill them both at the exact same time, which is why I'm not going to go for a full strike, and I messed up that jump horrendously. You also want to watch out for that whip attack that they use when they're transferring to the other side of the room, because that can outright remove your EMP, as you saw earlier. So don't get hit by that at all costs, as I just got hit right there again. Anyway, so just make sure you hit them both and continue to shock them. And also, you want to get in the habit of... wow, I'm messing up a lot here. You want to get in the habit of facing in the opposite direction as they're coming down. And the reason for that is because they have a move where they can turn you to stone, if you happen to look in their direction. And if that happens, they can deal double damage to you, even with your EMP full. Now, I can't avoid this attack, but because I'm also talking and playing at the same time, my focus is pretty much going in like two different directions here. Oh wow, I got the song again? Oh wow. Alright, that's never happened during a fight, I'm not gonna lie. If I'm not mistaken, we haven't even heard this track either, so I'm gonna let this play a little bit and like try to avoid them as often as I can. Alright, so you guys heard that whole song. So now I'm also going to show off what happens if you don't kill them at the same time. And just watch what happens. See? Brings them right back. So you definitely want to kill them off at the exact same time to prevent that from happening. But you know me. No, you don't. Wait. Yo! I'm a little mad. I'm a little mad. I'm a little mad. Oh no. This never happened. I usually time that really well, and then I guess my timing was off by like a second, and they managed to get the revival off before it happened. Oh my lordy, she was supposed to die like right there when I hit her with it. But apparently I just didn't time that well enough. I didn't even know there was invuln frames involved when she uses her move. Like, that's ignorant. Dang. Well, now you actually see what happens when you don't kill them at the same time and when you mistime your attacks. And also what Song plays when you're fighting the bosses and the kudos points are high enough for you to obtain that. So that's never happened. That's like 2 things in this episode here that I've never experienced every other time I'm playing this game. Now, normally this is where I would end the episode, but there is a bit more dialogue that'll happen before the episode ends. And guys, I want to introduce to you the Avenger, aka the Mega Man of this game. I'm definitely going to repeat this later on when I actually do fight him, and believe me, we will face off against each other as the game goes on. But basically, his thing is that he can copy the Adept's abilities. Every time we defeated an Adept, he's essentially stalking us and taking pieces of the glaive so that he can apply it to his arsenal, and that's basically how he gets their abilities. I'll elaborate more on him later on as we go along, but for the sake of keeping things moving, I'll save it for when we actually go ahead and dish it out against each other. But there is more than that. The next thing that I also have to point out here is that this is when we basically get our intermission section in the game. Usually that's like a staple in a lot of the X series of Mega Man. I should say it's X when it first began. Specifically in X4, that's when it started. So the intermission section is basically when a piece of the story takes a detour from defeating the amount of Mavericks that you would have to face off against, or Adepts in Gunvolt's case, and you have to take on an extra enemy. In X4's case, you had Colonel if you were going through X's story. In X5, you had Dynamo while you were collecting the parts for the Enigma cannon and the spaceship later on. In this game, you have Zonda. And Zonda is... I'm just going to put it to you like this. I should say it's very interesting. And once again, I'll elaborate more on who Zonda is once we go ahead and square off against it as well. And don't worry, there is a reason why I have not been giving Zonda a specific gender. But like I said, I'll elaborate on that later on. Anyway, after that little bit of dialogue exchange, this is Zonda right here. And as I've stated earlier, I'm not sure if I've ever explained this, but all the Adepts that we've been fighting up to this point symbolize some kind of, I would say, 7 deadly sin. In this case, it's lust for this character. Now, as you've already seen here, unless you've defeated this character, you won't be able to play through the rest of the stages. So, because they're locked off basically, they're all locked off. So, until we clear the intermission section, the game's not going to be able to continue, and we can't visit any previous levels either. But we will worry about that when we go ahead and take on the mission. So, until then guys, I'm too elusive, and as always, play until your thumbs fall off. I will see you in the next ep. Oh, and one more thing. Before anyone goes ahead and comments and asks about why the heck the gems are missing when I clearly collected these on other stages, I'll just come out and say it. I'm playing this on a different save file because something happened in the original footage when I was nearing the end of the video. So what I did was I just essentially filmed the end part of that previous video, and yeah, that's that. So for those who actually notice that the gems are missing, that should clear up the mystery there. Anyway, I will see you all later, and peace out, everyone.